here with Strikeout Media. I'm with EOTO.
Yeah.
Just finished their set here at the Detroit Magic Stick. So you guys tour a lot, from what I understand. Is that true, or?
We used to. We used to go nuts. Now we've backed off quite a bit.
Yeah. What are you in the middle of a tour? You said you're heading to Grand Rapids tomorrow. How long have you guys been out on this round?
Really just this week. We go weekend to weekend. This was a particularly long week where we started on a Wednesday and we finished on a Sunday. But usually we'll go out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or it's the summer, so sometimes there'll be a festival on a Sunday, and we'll go through the rest of the weekend. But for the most part, our touring now has been the Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. We backed off quite a bit from what we used to do before.
So what do you guys do in between those times? Said you live in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do there? I mean, I'm assuming musical stuff. Like what?
I do a fair amount of my own music, but I do a lot of outdoorsy things. Paragliding and skiing are big things for me.
Cool. What about you?
When I'm home, usually doing quite a few sessions for different things like movie films and some commercials, and when I can, I'll try to let some producers know that I'm home, and usually there's something kind of going on or something getting ready to go on in a couple of weeks. And I've gotten into boxing in the last few years, and I try to do that every morning when I'm home, just to get to a morning schedule and try to work out.
Yeah. I guess one thing that I think keeps coming up with your music is that it's sort of spiritual or mystical or visual too, but the spiritual aspect of it, you guys improv everything. Where is the music coming from? And is that spiritual to you? And would you even say that's a good way to describe your music?
Yeah, I'd say it's a good way to describe it. I think improving puts your spirit in a place that is alert and enlivened, and since I know in my case I have to make decisions really, really quickly, and so there's no time to think about anything else or get out of the zone. So that is inherently spiritual. It's just a giant meditation the whole night. From note one until the end, it's just like, do this, now do this, okay, what are you going to do now? Change that, do that. It's just a constant mantra, almost, keeping it that way. And, I think music is inherently spiritual, in that it represents a domain that's fairly ephemeral and not present in the 3D inherently. So, and conjuring it up out of nowhere heightens the state of the room where everyone's kind of enlivened in a different way.
Yeah. So going into a show, you guys don't know what you're doing. Is that true?
Yeah.
Tell me about your creative process. Going into a show, is just clear your mind and step on stage. You guys have been doing this for a little while, right?
Yeah, we've got a ton of shows, probably 1,000 shows under us by now in 10 years. And, if you look at where our show started and how much we've grown since then, as far as especially the flow of our set and the types of ideas that we run through, in the course of the night, it's really changed from, how we started. So it's every night is a learning process, and we have, 2 or 3 hours a night to go through this whole thing. We're messing up all the time and stuff, but it's always leading into something else. Almost some part of every night there's a piece of gear that's not working so good, or it stretches things out, and then sometimes you talk to the fans afterwards and that's some of their favorite parts and stuff. I like that part where you really hit that one thing and it was just right there and it was over and over again. It was
that's because we couldn't do anything else.
And it's so either something could have been frozen up or just maybe there's a piece of gear that doesn't work, so something that you might automatically go to for that, you can't go there, so you're compensating in the moment. And when you're always learning like that, it's just continues to open up or continues to remove, you get used to removing roadblocks to where even if all the power goes out and we're stuck like that, we somehow can still, find a way to get the audience involved or keep pushing through.
Yeah. So I saw you guys at maybe like 2007-ish. I think maybe you came to the Blind Pig.
Yeah. Wow.
And so it was a little bit of a different show than what I saw this evening.
Oh, wow.
Tell me, like, how have you seen it evolve? How have you seen your crowd evolve, I guess? I think music has changed, this kind of electronic music has changed a little bit over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So from like when you first started 10 years ago till now, what's the biggest change that you've seen, whether it's the music, the people, the venues?
Yeah.
I mean, there's everything has changed because we can absorb data in the course of a day where we're like really see something that's really like at a festival we're like, God damn, that was cool, let's try to do something like that, and then that changes us immediately and all of a sudden we're a different band. So we've continued to just kind of move towards whatever was compelling. We started as a very, very mellow, down-tempo kind of vibe, and then got gnarlier and gnarlier, and then got too gnarly. And with the thing I've noticed with our fan base is that there's been eras of fan base where at first it was all String Cheese people from String Cheese Incident, which is kind of the parent band that we're both in, that were all there because it was our side project. And then they're like, this is weird, I don't know if I really like this. And then they left. And then the weirdo electro hippies showed up, and then we started getting really edgy into the dubstep stuff, and then we lost some of them, and then we got the dubstep kids, the raver kids in the bikinis and the tights and the whole really young group. And then we got tired of being that aggressive, and we kind of mellowed out to a more full journey through all of our stylistic variants, and then we lost the rave kids and we got back to more, now it's kind of settled out to more of a dedicated crowd that are just down for the odyssey of whatever we're going to do, as opposed to thinking we're going to be something that they can categorize, which is kind of was like the past eras of us.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the audience are growing in a way, in the same way we are too, in that now a lot of this sort of bass music that was more relegated to either like the UK or the or like the West Coast sort of Burning Man kind of thing, whereas that kind of sound happening, it's gone through the course of being such an underground thing, and then being like some of the biggest music on the planet or influential, and then being way too ravey and stuff. And so I think people's tastes are kind of changing, and then especially maybe people who come back to listening to us after like 3 years of like, what was that, or their journey to break it off, they come back and like, oh, this is also evolved along, with our tastes and stuff. So they become more open to, everything else, and when they get that, come back and they're refreshed seeing us playing, these instruments on stage, where we used to be a little more covered up by the production, by having, projection mapping on all these things, and now they're all seeing us playing instruments and going through what we go through on the stage. That I think it becomes more like refreshing for them, like, oh, I'm back up kind of home or something familiar that they want to see in the show.
So it seems like this all has kind of progressed pretty organically. You think you sort of let it happen. Is there anything that you are thinking you want to try to implement to your show, like any like technologies out there that you thought this would be really cool if we could add this to the mix? Like what are some things that you guys might be experimenting with, or if you even want to like talk about it, but like very like random things that you see could be implemented in your set in the future?
There's always little things like that that keep continually getting added in and modified. Like when trap recently kind of made a big rise in the electronic scene, we added a kind of whole modality of that and worked on a whole way of triggering the kick to make a bass note alongside of it, and worked up all kinds of tones that were kind of popular with that vibe, and went for that. And there's always things, Jason's always incorporating all sorts of new tech and stuff, and I can't think of anything specifically right now that I want to add, but I'm sure there will be many things.
Yeah, it seems like it's gone with with producers coming up with constantly new ideas too. You know, there's, you know, you hear like a certain little sort of trick that becomes popular. You know, that a lot of people are doing, and we know those are like studio techniques, but we'll try to emulate it. And then that's one more little thing that we have, even if we don't use that thing with a particular style of music, maybe we use it something else, and then all of a sudden, you know, it turns into a little bit more of our thing, especially when it's coming from, you know, lots of different other places. So even, you know, you could see, as far as like the next things to try and do, maybe it's even some emulating some of like Flume's production stuff, because, you know, he's doing, you know, the way he fades in sort of these chords and gets real rhythmic with it, or you know, there's always something that you can find, or some other producer who's not, you know, as well known that's doing something, and you're like, oh, let's try and make that go. That's always out there.
Yeah. This let you guys go here, but just one last question: how long do you see yourself doing this for? Just is this open ended until you lose the love? Where's this going to take you?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to. A dream is always to get it up. For some reason, it hasn't happened to the level or to the entice the imagination enough that we could go overseas with it. Because I think we go over really well in other countries, especially Europe, where they really appreciate how things are done as opposed to just the product.
Yeah.
So that would be a goal for sure.
Cool. Well, hopefully you guys can do that. I think you guys would do great over there.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for your time.
All right. Much appreciated.
Jason.
Sure.
Catching us at the end of the show at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
too. It's like,
Well, I'm a night person
yeah.
by nature, so.
I like it. Well, you get some mellow interviews out of it too.
Right.
You know, man.
Nighty by nature.